a certain card that got
No.
that got revealed on the Twitter.
No.
Was it yesterday? I believe
It was yesterday.
I find it so hilarious that we decided to delay by a day, and this is what we get in reward. It's so perfect. It's unreal. I have the image for you right now, Lot.
Yeah, sure. I'll put it in the fuck.
Naruto sleeping
you-
butt ass naked.
Can't believe they put him on a card. Naruto sleeping butt ass naked.
They did it just for you, Lot. They put naked Gabumon just on a card just for you.
We're gonna get actual naked Gabumon directly on a card one of these days.
We
Wait,
are.
this is an SR.
Yes.
It sure is. There's gonna be an alt art. Yep.
Oh boy.
I hope the SR is just naked
Gonna be an
Gabumon.
alt art.
All the rookies in the last set were SRs.
The fuck?
Well, you didn't notice that?
I thought it was only Patamon. Huh. That's
No, that's all of them. Even
That's-
Lugamon.
I'm pretty sure they did this just to torment Lot, but it makes all of us so incredibly happy.
I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in, and then I'm gonna transition again so people can see the.
I could just find the image of the
Okay,
cropped version
the
for you.
correction. The rookies and Gatomon.
But there it is, as everyone can now see.
Naked Gabumon!
Naked Gabumon,
Naked
an
Gabumon.
official TCG card.
Sleeping butt ass naked.
Great.
And the one
I'm gonna-
responsible
I'm gonna
is that
specifically-
little bastard in the front.
It's true, fucking Pagumon.
I'm gonna buy one of this card. I'm gonna use an X-Acto knife to like cut out the naked Gabumon, put it in a little plastic baggie, and mail it to
If
Lot.
you do that to a SR, that will inflict fucking mental damage on me.
Well, that's what I'm not. I'll buy the card with my own my own money.
Yeah, it'll still hurt.
Okay.
I will never, ever give any of you my address. I just moved. I don't think you knew the previous one, but you sure shit don't know this one.
I have my way.
Oh, yeah?
I do.
This is fucked.
You can't escape it, Lot.
I
You know how
can't.
it goes.
No, you know what? I actually can't escape it because seemingly every night before I go to bed, someone ats me in the fucking Discord with that stupid image. It's like it is the world's worst poltergeist that is haunting me.
What? This?
Yeah, that. I hate that you have Nitro so you can post that sticker. One of these days I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have a custom roll in Cool Gang that literally just states at this person with pictures of naked Gabumon.
That's a really good idea.
No.
I'm
Naked
gonna message.
Gabumon enjoyer.
I'm gonna talk to Bridget about that after.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the DigiVerse DiveCast, the only Digimon rewatch podcast on the internet. I'm not going to verify that's true. I'm just going to state it as a fact.
I mean, it's probably the only one.
It definitely isn't. I think I've looked them up before. There's a couple
There's
others.
no way.
Okay, but not. Do they have a cool, as cool a logo as we do? I think not.
Definitely not. They don't. We're the only ones with a good ass logo.
You're welcome.
Yes, again, thank you for just doing that unprompted.
I did it for fun, and then it turned out really good, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do this.
All right, so today we are discussing episodes 11 through 15 of Digimon Adventure.
Surprise! There's plot in these ones.
Yeah, actual plot happens. I mean, it's the wrap up to like the first quote unquote season. Because 13 episodes is one cour of a season or of a show.
Cour?
Cour. Is it pronounced core? Is that how
It's
Yes,
pronounced
it's
core.
pronounced core.
I've
It's
literally
it's-
never heard anyone say the word out loud.
It's a French word.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well,
The French are always making fucked up words.
it's true. It's so true.
Honestly.
I mean, I don't know how to. If I remember correct, Bridget said this to me once. the show was initially supposed to just be like that, like this 13 episodes is like a promotional thing, and then it got
Oh.
extended to like a full 50 because oh, it's pretty popular. We'll just keep
That
going.
that actually explains basically the entire ending of episode 13, which is
Yeah.
abrupt to say the least. But we'll get to that when we're actually discussing.
We'll burn that bridge
There's-
when we
Yeah.
get there.
There's also the whole thing of they did not expect mega level Digimon to be a thing at first.
Yeah, that
It's
makes-
really funny to think about.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
That's why I say, yeah, Andromon is the strongest Digimon. Hands down.
He's so strong.
That still is just false.
Yeah, it is, but it's really funny.
It's really funny to think about.
Mhm.
Also, excuse me as I get my notes open. I forgot to have them.
What? And you call
Hmm.
yourself the leader?
I was sitting here like, the amount of prep I had to do for this week. But we'll okay. So let's just start talking about our weeks. I'll go first because I think I have the most to talk about. So
Go for it.
yeah, so the past week has been a living nightmare for me. I moved house as of yesterday. Currently I have basically all of the furniture that isn't in mine or my brother's room is currently sitting in our living room in various states of disarray. I have been wearing the same shirt and pants for 2 days now because all of our laundry was in the boxes they put in the garage, and we don't want to fucking lug those into the house yet.
Just go to Walmart and like just get a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I can afford to spend money right now.
Oh, that's fair.
uh Other than that, the move was an absolute nightmare because our old apartment was at the top of a rather large flight of stairs, so carrying things up and down from that was a nightmare. And just, general awful moving is the worst. I've done it 4 times in the past 2 years, and I'm
Yeah.
about ready to jump. But it's fine. This is definitely the last one. Definitely the last
Definitely?
one. Yes, 100%. We bought this house, so like we're sticking
You're
with it.
fucking better.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not renting anymore.
Yeah.
I say we, I mean, my fucking mother at this point. I have no money. I'm still waiting to get a start date on my, job that I got hired for over a month ago.
You should message them about that.
I should probably call them at some point. Like they explained it why it was going to take so long, but at this point I'm just like I'm starting to run low on funds here. Yeah, so that oh right, and also yesterday my stuff from the regionals came in the mail.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay.
The because I did really bad, so I only got
Yeah.
participation prizes. But
That
the
was-
cards are really really nice. They're like they don't have the white borders. They're the borders are entirely a solid color of the card.
Nice.
So I actually there's a BT10 can of Icemon in there, so I'm probably gonna run that in my deck
Nice.
because it's a
That's
really,
really
nice,
good.
yeah, very
yeah, I
good
love-
printing
I
of the
love-
card.
I love when they do those like full those color border thingies. I have one of those as a Diaboromon.
Hmm. They look really
Nice.
really nice. The foiling on them is also nice because the entire border is like slightly hollow, the same way like a
I
rare
like-
would be.
I like my hunter deck enough to like maybe try and get a couple for Shoutmon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's been my week. I guess it's been like over, but been my week.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything particularly interesting happen?
Oh well, my week. I just still trying to get get my hand on all the parts of my job. I've been sleeping like shit,
Excuse me.
so I'm like tired all the time.
Understandable.
That's pretty cool. Trying to just
I don't know if cool is the word for that, but yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. New season of Fortnite dropped, so I've been
Oh,
playing that a bit.
no.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay,
that's right, yeah.
Fortnite! Yay,
Fortnite,
Fortnite! I'm a
Fortnite,
12-year-old.
It's a good
I'm like,
season
oh.
though.
You know, it's probably the most fun I've had with Fortnite in a bit. So I'm like, okay. And there's a cool vampire guy. So and at the end of the battle pass, so I want to actually finish it for once. And I actually just before I jumped in here, I just got finished watching AEW All In
Nice.
pay per view, first time in London.
Oh
Nice.
shit.
So huge show, lots of good matches.
Did your favorite wrestler win?
He did not, but he stabbed someone with a fork.
Awesome.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
That's all that matters.
All right.
is everyone
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I started a new job.
Oh shit. Let's go.
Yo,
Yeah. I'm basically just babysitting a kid
let's
for a really rich
go.
Swag.
Hell yeah. Milk them for all their fucking worth.
Yeah, no, for sure. I visited them the other day for work, and they just had their entire backyard redone, and they have a swimming pool with you can choose what temperature the water should be, as well as
Jesus.
they redid their entire backyard. It has a patio, I think that's the word,
Yes.
with 5 fucking grills built in.
I'm sorry,
Whoa,
what?
dude, that's like
This is not an
4
exaggeration.
That's 4 grills too many.
Okay,
Like
so
they're
you
built
meant
into
like
into the actual thing.
you meant like rich.
I'm talking
I
rich.
underestimated.
I'm talking in the like statistically safest neighborhood in the entirety of Illinois.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, they own
they-
a dude. And also, did I mention that their pool the pool cover is automatic?
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's a thing that they can just do with a remote control. It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, Angel.
Mhm.
So you're babysitting their kid.
Yeah.
How
I'm making
young? Like how young is the kid? Like
like they told when my the whole reason I got the job is because a friend of the family told them, hey, I know a college student who's looking for a job, and they were like, sure. Is he responsible? Yeah, he was in some special programs back in high school, and he's first in the family to go to college. All that. They're like, sure, we'll just hire him. And I don't know I don't know the person who recommended me very well, but they're the maid for them. She comes in every
oh,
like couple times a week to clean up the house.
See,
Yeah.
okay. So now,
Mhm,
as someone who is going to be babysitting an
mhm.
exceedingly wealthy couple's child, you have a sworn duty to radicalize that child as much as possible.
that's a lot of burden for poor
Mhm.
Angel.
It's
You
fine.
understand that?
It'll honestly be pretty easy. Kids absorb things like sponges. Just tell them the kind of
Yeah.
things his parents probably did, and
Mhm.
I see. I feel like everyone's had a much more interesting week than I have. I've been playing Armored Core 6.
Same. That game's fucking good.
It's so good. I really
It's
want to
so
play
good.
them. I want to fight people in multiplayer, but nobody's unlocked it yet.
Round of the summer.
I haven't either. Oh, another thing. I started learning how to play Lancer, the tabletop RPG, with some friends today.
Mhm.
Literally right before the podcast started. Very fun. I built an agility build, so I was just I did I got hit a grand total of once, lost an arm from that, and then did not get hit for the rest of the game. So it's been fun.
That's real.
Mhm.
We should probably start the episode proper now.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
might be a good
going.
idea.
I was going to say. Someone
Oh,
said
but
what?
are,
Someone mentioned leader, and I'm like, oh, perfect transition. But
Mhm.
then I was like, all right, or weeks.
Right.
it is definitely a good idea. So we're gonna do that.
beep,
All right. We are going to go straight into episode 11, The Dancing Ghosts Bakemon.
Pokemon
So,
Sama.
yeah. Yeah, the Sama thing.
Pokemon-sama.
Yeah.
So it for whatever reason, just like watching the normal recap, then cutting to Mimi just kicking the gear made me laugh really hard.
He's so real for that. Oh, the fucking Et tu brute or whatever. I don't know.
Mm.
What?
I don't
What?
know. I don't know Shakespeare.
So, like-
let's stop talking about
Okay.
this.
So like, I think, but before it's been a few days since I watched the episode, so hopefully I remember everything. But if they before they just get into the meat of it, there's like a little bit with Devimon, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
giggling to himself.
Yeah, he's like,
like evil
all
Batman.
he's like, all I need is just kill one chosen child and I win.
Mm-hmm.
But this scene also just made me remember, damn, Devimon is long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, his arms are so long. It's insane.
He's a lanky lad.
Yeah.
Just God,
He's all arm and no torso.
that's
Mhm.
true. His legs are also exceedingly long. He's
He
just a
he looks like he has like the sigil on the front of it. He kind of looks like Batman in a way,
Mhm.
I can see what you
but like
I can see
evil.
it.
mean.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's the,
The Batman who laughs.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
I
Yeah.
don't get that one. I just Batman but evil.
Don't worry, it's a bad thing.
Oh.
So yeah, now it transitions over to just Joe and Gomamon floating on their bed out in the middle of the goddamn ocean.
Mhm.
I do like that one of them didn't just crash on an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Joe is the one that's just
The
stranded.
most pathetic one.
Most punished boy alive for no reason. He
Just
just
because
has it the roughest.
He's just a smart guy who constantly gets murdered.
He's not
By
even that smart
circumstance.
though.
Yeah, he's just like
He's book smart.
He's got good
He's like-
grades.
Yeah, he's book smart. He may not be street smart, but he's book smart.
I wouldn't even consider Joe particularly book smart. I think he's just unbelievably hardworking.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I,
Well, I mean, there's a point in the later episode.
I forget. I don't have any. Unfortunately, I didn't like note down any of the any of the specific lines. But it starts off with him just having a back and forth, and it was really funny.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, with Gomamon.
Well, then I think I might have taken a picture of it. So I can
I
yeah,
know
check image dump.
Gomamon was basically eating all of the food.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Mm.
It's like, what have you
And Joe's
done
And Joe's
to
like,
me?
"What do you mean?"
Mhm. Joe has
Stop
some
this.
really funny faces in this episode.
Yes, he does.
So does Gomamon.
Yeah. But he's
Uh,
hitting some Bart Simpson shit.
I don't know what I got. It's been a couple days since I watched them, but I wrote down a note that just says, "Why are you bothering to tell me?" And then in all caps, "I have to vent, bro." I'm not sure what that's in
Oh wait,
reference
now
to.
I remember. So there's a back and forth for a bit, and Golan's just like, "Why are you so cynical? You should be a bit more hopeful at times." And he's like, "Okay, fine." And then a box just floats up to their bed,
True.
and then Joe is like, "Oh my god, maybe there's some food and medical supplies in here. We're saved." And then Golan's like, "That's stupid. Why would that be in there?" And he's like, "What? I'm trying to be hopeful."
And then
And then it's
I believe
Gabumon.
I believe
Gabumon.
at this point, I think Joe starts strangling Gomamon like he's Homer Simpson.
Why you little?
It's really good.
These two are a fucking slapstick duo. It's great.
Anyway, Ogremon busts out of the box.
Mhm.
What? Who else but Ogremon?
I don't know why I very vividly remember this specific part of this episode because I was like, I remember Ogremon just being in a box for some reason,
Yeah.
floating out on the ocean. This is where this is
How,
from.
how did he ensure that he met up with one of the chosen children?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't think he thought far ahead. I think he's just that lucky, or Joe is that unlucky. Probably the latter.
Probably the
I think
latter.
I don't think Ogremon's very lucky.
But yeah, no, I don't think so either.
So my favorite part of there's a bit of a fight,
Mhm.
but of course this is completely in Gomon's favor as they're in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Very true.
Yep.
And I think the biggest takeaway from this whole scene is Ogremon clearly has some fear as a fear of water.
Yes. Oh, he can't swim.
Mhm.
Can't swim at all. Gomon uses marching fishes and hits Ogremon with it, stating something along the lines of, he'll be weak to the smell of fish. He grew up in the canyons. He's not
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
it. And then Ogremon just continues attacking, and he's like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
This continuing running bit of these fucking chosen Digimon saying shit that's just wrong.
It's completely incorrect. So Gomon digivolves into Ikakumon, and they manage to get away while Ogremon cannot chase them because he cannot swim.
Of course
Mhm.
not.
And then because Gomon gets too tired and digivolves, Joe falls into the ocean and almost drowns.
Yeah, almost immediately. He just begins
Joe-
drowning.
Joe would be fucking dead without Gomon. It's actually insane.
He's built like an American not a pit bull, an American bulldog, where just like he just sinks. He doesn't. He spent too much time studying to learn how to swim. Apparently,
Yeah,
Not enough fat on his bones to be buoyant.
I mean, to be fair, it's the ocean. He might have gotten like the cold shock and then just immediately began drowning. Like, cut him some slack.
I feel like there's more pressing issues if it's that cold.
True. Very true. Anyway,
Um,
like Joe's dying. That's really the big
Mhm.
takeaway here.
Yeah.
And then we
Which
cut
of
to
course means now is the perfect time to check in on Sora and Piyomon.
of course. Sora's fishing, well, attempting to anyway. Her bait is
And
a
it-
twig she tied to the end of a fishing rod.
and it's
Maybe
like
there will be a fish stupid
one of the
enough
only
to
smart
bite.
people in this group. And
Yeah.
but my favorite part of all that is Piyomon just going to like, "What are you doing, Sora? Fishing? Wow, you're so smart."
It's like, yeah, we need food. We don't have any. Trying to get some. And by some miracle, she manages to catch Joe, well, Gomon specifically, as we learn later. But,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she manages to yank them both out. Joe is unconscious, and they're kind of like warming him up by the fire. Sora at some point says, "Is there something wrong with him?" And my immediate thought was, "You have no idea.
You don't even know.
There's so many things wrong with
His
this boy."
lungs are filled with water, Sora.
He's
At which
dying.
point,
didn't even attempt CPR.
Gomamon lays out his big plan for this week.
Yes.
He's like, all right, we need to boost this boy's confidence. So what I need you all to do is just treat him like the leader. He's the lead. Make him the leader.
Mhm. And Sora kind of begrudgingly agrees to the
He's like,
plan.
all right.
Like,
But
sure,
to be fair,
whatever.
she gives it socks.
Mhm.
Like she's it's like, okay, I'll do it, but she's in on it. She goes all in.
Oh yeah, no, she she very much acts as you're the leader. You have to help us. What do we do, Mr. Leader?
And Joe wakes up and everyone's like, God, you gotta help Joe. Tell us what to do. And he's like,
Let's go to this creepy building. There's
Yeah.
gotta be people there.
He is adamant of the fact that there will in fact be people in this
Yeah.
old abandoned church.
They put there's like this sudden. I do like that no one brings up. Well, it's like, wait, wouldn't this is part of File Island? We never saw this church before.
Mhm. It's fine. They just don't
I know,
know.
but I also like the because he's like, oh, there's got to be some people here, and Sora kind of just goes, why would there be people here? We have not found any people at this point. And then Joe just goes, I'm the leader, so I must be right. Shut up.
You know what? Fair point.
The power's already gotten to his head, guys.
This is why Joe cannot be trusted. Immediate power trip.
Yep.
But he decides to take the lead and go around to the back of the church to by himself to get a view of what's going on. And he sees that there are in fact people there, and they are dancing.
Yeah, there's like a whole ass fucking
He was
summer
right.
festival going on.
Mm-hmm. So he runs back, and as he's rounding the corner, there's like a car crash sound effect.
There's like freaking Ed and Eddie noises.
It's really funny. So yeah, he informs.
I was right.
Mm-hmm. He informs Sora, Biyomon, and Gomamon, and they all go to round the corner to look. And as they're observing the people, wondering what they're doing, another man basically sneaks up behind them and goes, "Hey there," and they freak the hell out.
What are you doing?
Are you? Could I interest you? He's like, can I interest you in my religion?
They gladly accept an invitation to talk to another human being, and they go inside.
Mhm.
At which point the
He's
dude
like,
just immediately goes mask off. Like there's not
Yeah.
even like a
he's like, oh, we honor Bakemon, Bakemon the great and powerful.
We're making a sacrifice to him. What's the
And
sacrifice?
he's like,
You.
okay. He's like, okay, that's neat. And then Biyomon and Gomamon just enter supreme bitch mode, and they're like, "Oh, Bakemon, I heard he was a fucking loser who sucks ass."
yeah. He doesn't deserve Sama. What are you people talking about? He's a
Yeah.
loser. At which point the dude's like, and then his mask breaks open and he reveals that he is in fact Bakemon,
Yep.
as well as every other human being in the church. And because of course Bakemon is an adult level Digimon, they handily manage to subdue Gomamon and Piyomon, who cannot digivolve because they are
Hungry.
hungry, which leads to a very very good like two frame shot of Piyomon doing this as she realizes she can't do anything.
She's so real.
Honestly.
When I'm hungry and can't do anything, I also do that.
Mm.
So the Digimon get locked up, and they've tied Sora and Joe to a table and are going to eat them.
Yeah, they're covering them in salt and pepper, Joe's favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be happy they at least know how to prepare their meals properly.
Oh, better! Don't you dare use fucking ketchup.
You put sauce on here and I'll kill you myself.
He may be getting eaten, but at least he knows that the morals of Japan are in good hands.
So it goes to the Gomon and Piyomon, who are currently locked in the basement in like a cage. And this is one of the weirdest sections of, I think, any episode in the entire series, where Gomamon gets really meta with it for seemingly no reason.
It's like they have but it's like people. Was it? He says people who let out a snot bubble when they sleep are very easy to trick.
Yes,
And
he's
then Piyon's like, how? It's like, does that even make sense? Why do you know this? And he's like, don't worry about it.
he's like, he looks stupid enough. See, he's got the snot bubble coming out of his face. That means he's dumb and easily tricked. Allow me to wake him up. And then he picks up a rock and throws it to pop the snot bubble, which of course wakes up the guard.
It's awesome.
Of course.
It's the best.
They then begin encouraging the guard to torture them.
It's like, oh yeah, I'd hate it if you were like to eat that delicious food in front of me.
It'd be so terrible. You'd be really good at your job of being a bad guy if you ate that as close to the bars as humanly possible.
My vision is fuzzy because of the hunger. I can't see very well. Come closer.
It's so fucking
And then they
Come
beat his
closer, we
ass.
won't hurt
And then
you.
they jump him. It's fucking great.
I just this bit of the episode is so good.
And then Sora
It's
and
just
Joe
proof
are
that Gomamon is the ultimate Digimon.
all right.
True.
Another good bit with Sora and Joe, they like when the Bakugan are throwing the salt and pepper on him. He's like, "Oh God, don't stop throwing all this salt and pepper on me. I'm already very salty. I'll be bad for you." And he's like, "Yeah, you know that is right. Too much salt isn't good for you." And he's like, eat Sora. She's way less salty than me."
Immediately throws her under the bus.
Of course.
So Gomamon and Piyomon manage to break out and because they
digivolve.
eat. Yeah, they digivolve and bust out.
I'm just realizing an interesting like plot hole, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's a later episode thing.
Okay.
All the Bakemon fuse into one big super Bakemon.
Which sure,
I don't think it happens ever again.
It doesn't, but we don't need to. It's just like Mojimon randomly changing size.
That's just a ghost thing.
Fair enough.
Also, very important to note, the Bakemon have not been hit by a black gear. They are just assholes.
Just
Yeah,
like
they're just
that,
dickheads.
yeah.
I mean, Gomamon was correct for once.
Yeah.
They're stupid and they suck and they're assholes.
So a fight begins, but unfortunately, because the Bakemon have combined into the
Yeah, he fucking
big
like
one,
launches them out of the church.
yeah, just knocks them out of the church entirely. And Sora and Joe are desperately trying to think: is there a way we can make it so it's weaker, so that our Digimon are able to handle it? And Joe
It's like
is like, ghosts. We need to recite the sutra.
Yeah.
we
Fucking
gotta start
insane line of
praying.
thinking.
And it's like, well, we gotta like exercise them. Are you fucking serious?
And
And then
she's
he
just
starts
like,
doing it, and then it actually starts to work. Like, oh wait, no. Here's my favorite bit of all that. It's like Sora, I need a drum. I need a drum to do the fucking
Yeah.
ritual.
yeah,
And then he just takes her helmet.
no, she's just like a drum. And then she takes off her hat and she's like, here? And he's just like, yeah, sure.
And he
Take
just
this-
rolls with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this also confirmed me because I could never fucking even for years I could never tell if that is that supposed to be like a
It's a helmet.
with a little
It's a
strass.
helmet,
It's like no, it's a
yeah.
helmet.
Yeah.
She just wears a
I-
helmet at all times.
Yeah, the
I-
adventure kids have some very odd fashion choices, like Sora and her helmet and whatever
Me-
that thing on Takaru's head is.
It's a bit that's his it's a hat. Mimi has a fucking cowboy hat for some reason.
I mean, it's just a hat, but like I don't know what
Yeah.
kind of hat Takaru's even is. Like you can identify what Mimi's got on her head. And,
Yeah.
Not even-
it's weird to be wearing it, but you
Yeah.
know Sora's wearing a helmet.
I'm
Like I
not
guess
even-
they were camping, but also they were like in bed when all this shit happened. So whatever.
I don't even think that it was like that Joe's ritual like necessarily worked. I think the Bakemon was just like in my mind, the Bakemon was just like, what the fuck is going on? And he was so stupefied that he just got weaker.
Then he just gets owned instantly the second the
Yeah,
sutra begins working.
I don't like that you're questioning the leader's methods.
Oh,
It's true. Joe used the sutra, and the sutra worked. So Joe's the leader forever and
Yeah.
always now. Also, just a random aside. Not gonna lie, I think Sora's design is better when she's not wearing the hat.
Yeah,
Nah.
her hair is cute, yeah.
I like the way her hair looks when she doesn't have the helmet on. I don't know. But yeah, so they successfully defeat the Bakemon, and the episode just pretty much ends immediately. Or no, the ground splits open.
Yeah, they don't even like unlike everyone else, the island doesn't even start just like reversing for them. They're just like, okay, well, we should probably just go back to the mountain. That's where Devimon is. So they just ride their Digimon back to the mountain.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they are the only ones where they have to just go back themselves. I
Yeah.
guess it's because they're the only two with the Digimon that could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
that's
like
the end
whatever,
of,
mix things up a little bit.
yeah, that's the end of episode 11, which means it's now time
Oh,
for the
Lord.
Dub Zone episode 11.
oh no.
As I stated before to you all, for the sake of the audience, my notes for the dub of episode 11 are longer than my notes for the sub.
Happens.
This was a rough one. Let's get into it. So, the name of the episode, The Dancing Ghost Pokemon, has been changed to The Dancing Digimon. Perfectly acceptable title. Gorilla.
Now that I think about it, okay, I guess like they were they were dancing disguise, but the Bakemon themselves were never really dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not quite sure. It's kind of a spoiler almost, but
Yeah.
so the Bakemon's move, Hell's Hand, was just cut. They just cut the part where he does Hell's Hand that they didn't have to try to make a new name for Hell's Hand.
Not even Ghost Hand. God,
Nope.
Bandai sucks.
I imagine this is one of those things where they just wanted to kind of try and avoid any
mhm.
vaguely religious or spiritual shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude.
I don't know how they're gonna handle Angemon. I'm gonna be real. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna avoid that.
Okay. So, well, during the recap, it's a Mimi recap. She ends it, or when she's talking about them getting Leomon to leave, she says they shooed that bad kitty away,
That's good.
which was cute.
That's pretty good.
All right. So, immediately when Devimon is talking at the beginning, he says that he has plans for Joe and Sora during, and I quote, that lovely day Bakemon holiday.
What?
Yeah. So the whole premise here is that the Bakemon are celebrating Bakemon holiday.
Okay.
This will
Sure.
become even more odd as the episode goes on, and they're desperately trying to avoid even remotely religious like things. So during the fight with Ogremon, Gomamon says when the small band together, they can take down the big and powerful, which of course immediately fails. But I just thought that line was very, very funny. Like, hell yeah, Gomamon, fight the man.
Momomon's a real one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for whatever reason, Gomamon blames specifically the Ogremon fight for Joe not having confidence, which doesn't make any sense at all, because Joe didn't really do anything wrong during that fight. But that's that he brings up the whole "oh, you got to pretend to be the leader" thing, like right at the end, stating that the fight with Ogremon was a blow to his confidence for some reason. So now you have to make him the leader.
Interesting.
Yeah. At some point, when they're talking about leading, or Joe says something about being a leader and like having to follow orders, and Sora immediately replies with, "Let's not get carried away." To which Joe replies, "Oh," and like you can just hear him sad. So as they're going up to the abandoned building, not a church, Joe does not shut up. He is constantly saying like you know like army march like things where they keep people in line in the
Oh,
rhythm.
Mhm.
He's doing that
God.
the entire time. It's like he just doesn't shut up. Sora is also like weirdly bitchy in the dub for some reason. That's kind of just like the trait they gave her, I think, for the entire dub. Is her just being like kind of a bitch for
it's like, I don't want to.
yeah, and just very less like standoffish and stuff like that. When Joe encounters the dancing people, he runs back and it specifies that they were dancing badly, I might add, because everything has to be a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, they say the word Halloween. And this is what they've decided to contextualize the entire episode as.
All right.
Bakemon
What?
Holiday is Halloween.
Sure.
I
And they
see.
keep saying Halloween. They do not stop saying Halloween.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And then when we're inside, Gomamon continuously refers to Bakemon as Lord Bakemon, who lives among ghosts as their ruler.
I mean, that's one way to translate Sama. Sure.
That was the thing. I was like, did they take the Sama as like an
Yeah.
actual lore thing and decided that it was a thing instead of just realizing that they were
These
worshiping
Pokemon are just yeah.
Yeah.
I like really weird. Like they keep saying Lord Bakemon too. Like they continuously refer to it as Lord Bakemon, even when there are multiple Bakemon. They call it Lord Bakemon. It makes no goddamn sense. Uh, Gomon also said he's like a loser in reference to Lord Bakemon. When the dude drops the mask, Gomon says he was Lord Bakemon. No one has ever seen him in his true form.
He's just a bigger Bakemon.
He's
Yeah.
not though. He's the normal one until they combine.
Big Bakemon theory.
it's, it's just like it makes no sense. This episode is a wreck. At one point they say trick or treat. I don't remember when it was. When they're preparing to eat Joe and Sora, they are saying, "We're scary ghosts. We like taboo. Now it's time to chew on you." And they repeat this multiple times.
It's fine. I don't mind it.
All right, so here's a fun creative thought exercise. What do you think they replaced the entire sutra bit with? How the fuck did they work around that?
Is it gonna be
Good
like the
question.
army marching thing again?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
He starts spouting a stupid rhyme.
My God.
Close, but no. Joe says a Roman physicist says repeating a phrase helps you focus. So he begins repeatedly saying Bakemon lose your power over and over again. And then Sora's just like, take my lucky hat to help.
Good God.
Sure.
Why don't they do this when they're fighting Apocalypse?
Just like they wanted to avoid religious like topics.
Yeah.
Fine, sure, whatever. They went above and beyond and thinking up the worst possible excuse they possibly could. Roman physicist, take my lucky hat? Like, you couldn't even have been like,
What were
here,
they
use this
thinking?
to stay on rhythm. Like, this episode made me upset while I was watching it dubbed. And it didn't stop, but let's move on to episode 12, Adventure, Palmon and I.
Patamon and I.
I said, I wrote Palmon. It is Patamon. Whoops.
I wish Palmon was here.
I wish Palmon was in this episode for no reason.
I can't believe Takeru's partner Digimon is actually Palmon and not Patamon anymore.
Mhm.
Imagine.
I'm intentionally not changing the image because the
Mm.
image I have set up first is for a very specific part of the early episode.
So like, the episode starts off and it's like, oh hey, yay, and Takeru and Patamon on their little adventure. And then
Yeah.
immediately he falls off. They both fall off a waterfall and nearly die.
Just frame one, they're both almost dead immediately. Patamon, I believe, like says something about attempting to fly Takeru back up, and then begins to kind of like get like self-deprecate about not being able to digivolve and wondering what kind of stuff he could do. He imagines himself evolving into Birdramon, and then he zooms into the corner of the screen as the image of Birdramon shrinks. But he begins he starts talking to Takeru about these like I wonder I'm curious why I haven't evolved, and I wonder what kind of form I'll take. At which point Takeru takes matters into his own hands and begins describing what he thinks Patamon will evolve into, including things like something like this mon.
You get extremely Japanese jokes.
Extremely. These do not work in English.
No, not it. I'm so interested to see how they make the fucking dub work for this section.
You know.
You know.
So yeah, the subs just went with the literal translation of well, not literal, but like the rough translation of something like this mon, who is a powerful pig with his boo boo attack. Patamon is immediately like, no.
Now it's like it just hard cuts to Patamon, look the most disgusted he'll ever look. Like now.
No.
No.
And Takeru's like, all right, let me try again. And he
on that mon.
Yeah, I don't remember the translation for this one.
It must be like this mon.
Yes, it must be like this mon, who is a hippo with his super sniff attack.
Surprised it's not Bubbles.
It's the opposite of Bubbles.
Oh my god, it is! What? Takeru's so smart.
Just very God, it's such a fun, cute little sequence. And Patamon is, of course, is like, no.
Let's just stop talking about this.
It's also funny to me because like they could not possibly be more off the mark. Nobody could have predicted what Patamon would fucking become.
Of course not. I mean, well,
it must be something like this mon.
Unless you were
like
just
call Angemon that.
Unless you were a 13-year-old with like an above average sense of like foreshadowing for the one scene in the where they're looking at the painting of the angel, they're like, I bet you Padamon's gonna. Well, actually, Angemon's in the opening.
Yeah, I was about to say, unfortunately, the opening does kind of spoil it, which I kind of wish they didn't do, but
it's like it's so weird. You think they could have just like obscured it or something.
Or edited the opening as it
This
goes.
was before the age of multiple versions of an OP to obfuscate
Yeah, that's
information,
true.
which is like a very popular thing nowadays, and I love it every time they
Mhm.
do it. I clap like a fucking seal.
Same.
So like, so they finish their conversation and they're like, all right, well, let's just keep moving. And there's this really weirdly like this quiet moment in this episode that I really want to shout out because it looked really nice. Where they're
Yes.
just standing at like a railroad crossing, and it's just this nice little shot, and then it cut to like them just like staring in I guess confusion at the fact there's a railroad crossing, and like they're like it's like really windy.
Mhm.
It's like
I adore this sequence so much. It does
it's
such a
like
good job of like frame, like because Patamon and Takaru are very small in like the corner of the frame. It does a really good job of like kind of getting across that feeling of I guess isolation because they're
Mhm.
both completely on their own now with no
Yeah.
one else around.
as we get closer to the end of like this first arc, I think just a lot of things in this show have stepped up. Like just
Yes.
like
Yeah, for
visual,
sure.
like direction, the humor has. It's like I don't think I wouldn't say the show was unfunny before, but it starts getting pretty damn funny around this point.
Mhm.
It becomes very consistently funny and
It
just
definitely
like
feels like less like there's a bit more thought put into it. It's
mhm.
less just here's the monster of the week, which it still is, but
Mhm.
it doesn't feel quite as forced.
Yeah, but now we're getting like overarching villains and we're getting these
Yeah,
really
yeah.
nice, like well composed shots of
Also, the backgrounds in this episode are super nice.
yes, they look
Yeah,
immaculate.
I don't know if any of you have played Under Night,
No.
or if even if you did, you probably haven't gone to a story mode because nobody but like me and my buddy have. But there's this one character who's a bit younger than the rest of the cast, and all of their CGs are all of their CGs and like background for it are done from their perspective, so they're all scribbled in crayon,
Oh, that's really
and
cute.
that's what it reminds me. It's really good. That's what the background in this reminded me of.
So, they decide to just, they're continuing on their little adventure and they wander into what is essentially like a town made out of like toy blocks and stuff.
Hmm.
It's bouncy.
Oh, real
Mhm.
quick, so they come to like I guess the gateway into the town, and there's just a bunch of like big toy blocks making an archway, and then I got to shout out Bootleg Miffy.
Bootleg Miffy?
Do you not know about Miffy the rabbit?
Oh, yep, yeah.
Oh,
There's like a rabbit head on one of the blocks, but it's like this little like white rabbit with like an X-shaped mouth, and it's like
Hmm.
you just drew Miffy.
that's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
You just drew
Also,
Miffy.
But so they discover that there was an entire field of babies
mhm.
in little wicker baskets, and they're just kind of like walking up to them and being like, "Oh my god,
It's like, what the hell is
A
this?
look at all these
baby.
babies!"
I don't
All these
remember the
Only
name of it. I
child.
was like, that's Botamon. That's
Yeah,
whatever.
Mhm. That one looks like an old man with a beard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here we get the greatest line in the show where the Takeru's like, that's a baby. It looks like an old man. And then the Padawans is like, don't say that. It's still a respectable baby.
It's a
Yeah, I
respectable
think the use
baby.
of the word respectable is really funny.
As opposed to a disrespectful baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry.
Is it like the Grinch?
We'll get to a disrespectful baby.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
also,
You sure will.
there's this really really funny shot of a Punimon where it looks like it's up to something.
Mhm.
Just like
Punimon's always giving you like this
Unimon
like
with homophobia in its eyes.
Punimon's always giving you like this like I don't know death stare.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's just
Like,
Because
it
you
looks
don't
like
have a mouth.
it has I don't know if it has intent. I don't know what the
Mhm.
intent is, but it has it.
I mean, the intent almost reads as violent. Just looking at this image
Mhm.
of it, like it looks like
This
it's
thing is
capable of.
unhinged.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
uh,
fairly certain this whole episode is just foreshadowing, foreshadowing.
pretty much. Yeah. The most important part of this episode, though, is what happens immediately after they discover all the babies, which is the giant field of shout outs to cheese.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of eggs.
Just
Mhm.
echo
Someone,
that.
We should just make an edit of like the panning shot of that field of eggs where it's just like a chorus of a bunch of like really high pitched,
Shout out to G's.
but like in a way that you can't really tell it's just a like all at once starting at different times like
God.
you know
Just a cacophony.
yeah all high pitched.
So they approach the eggs, and I believe there's a note next to one of them that just says "rub me." And
It's like
And they're like,
I feel uncomfortable right now.
like, Takaru, I need you to understand. If you ever see a note that says "rub
says,
me" next to
"Rub me."
something, do
Nah.
not
Run.
do it. But
Just
instead,
leave.
Patamon encourages him, so he begins gently rubbing the egg.
Nade nade nade
Nade.
nade 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 nade
Mhm.
nade nade.
I believe, and then the egg hatches first before the flashback, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because I think Takaru's like, "Oh, you came from an egg too, right?" And Patamon's like, "I don't remember when I was a baby."
Right, and then he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, I think the earliest thing I remember was I was at at home and I was building some blocks and a
felt-
dumb idiot baby knocked over a bunch of
No, no,
blocks."
no, no, no. He doesn't say that out. He like Patamon asks him if he remembers anything
Yeah,
from
he
when he
like
was a baby,
recall.
and
He
he
tries
like
to recall, and he has like this vague memory of Yamato looking after him as a baby, and he's like, maybe I don't know.
Sorry,
I think he specifically says probably not.
sorry, I forgot the subbed version of this episode had tact and direction, and that the flashback is almost entirely it is entirely
Oh.
unvoiced, and it's just
Yeah.
yeah. We'll get to that.
But it's also playing the harmonica theme, which like
Yes.
absolutely killed me.
It's a really this episode is very very well directed. It is
Mhm.
really good. Anyway, one of the babies poops.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
And then they all
"Oh."
start pooping.
And Takaru's like really upset about it.
Yeah, just like cannot handle the fact that this baby has
Mhm.
pooped.
Well,
Meanwhile,
he's like Patamon, what do I do about it? And Patamon's like, I don't know, I'm busy.
yeah.
Figure it out.
It's not easy being a single father.
At which point, one of the oh god, what's the respectable baby's name again? I forgot what that thing is called.
forgot.
I never remember
The
the
little
name of
bearded
these
dude?
like the super
Saying?
small ones.
Takaru like puts it on the ground and it begins to run away immediately.
And it's like, oh no.
At this point, we cut to an Enelekmon.
I guess the antagonist of this episode.
Yeah.
If you want to claim there
Technically.
is one.
He's so cute though. How could he be an
He is.
antagonist?
Yeah, I
he
mean,
electrocutes like 50 fish. And
it's true. He does. He does do some pretty extreme fishing and is hauling back a giant, like probably like 100 fish.
Yeah.
It's not as if he's evil. Like that's arguably a very
yeah,
smart
well,
way of
antagonist.
fishing.
Oh, I just said antagonist. That doesn't mean evil.
It just means he's the opposing force of this
Okay,
episode.
we don't need to English lesson.
Okay.
Well, we're learning.
yeah,
It's
we're
a
all
learning
learning
experience
together.
to be the DigiDiveCast.
Yeah, maybe one of the audience members didn't know. And now they know that antagonist doesn't necessarily mean evil, just like protagonist doesn't necessarily mean good.
Yeah.
That's why, remember, kids, when you're describing a story, if the antagonist isn't necessarily evil, make sure you call them the antagonist and not the villain. It's like a really important distinction, actually.
I like one's dragging this huge stack of fish back, and then he sees that there are now double the amount of babies, and this child is just trying to look after them all.
And they're all screaming.
Imagine being a single dad with 20 children, and then you go to work one day, and then you come back, and suddenly you have 40 children.
Not only do you have 40 children, all of them are screaming, including the 2 people who are apparently bullying your children.
And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
They were coddling actually.
And it's like, he's like, "Oh well, we're just trying to look after them." And he's like, "And who asked you to do that? Get the
Mhm.
fuck out of here!"
It's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you just randomly start taking care of babies on the street? What is wrong with you?
And then so Patamon and him and Electron start to get like they start getting vicious with each other.
They
Which-
do. They have one of the funniest. They're like gripping onto each other and rolling around in at least one of the funniest frames in the entire.
They're like
episode.
squished.
They have morphed into ball. Indar.
Of course, this like it's like everyone's fighting. This obsessed Takaru, he starts crying. Gets them to stop.
Mhm.
So he's like, okay, we should find some other way to resolve this, like a tug of war.
Yeah. At which point, Takaru gets an outfit from somewhere. He just has that. He just
Yeah,
has
they're
like
it's a tug of they do like a tug of war / sumo fight.
Yeah.
So they've got like the rope belts, and
Mhm.
he starts calling them like, was it like Pada of the Mountain or something like that?
It's Pada of the Mountain and Elec of the river or something along those lines, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's doing this all in like very like a traditional like manner of speaking.
Announcement voice.
I think it's referencing like sumo. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
it
sumo.
is.
It's sumo.
It's just, first of all, the fucking Sakaru's like 6. Why does he know all this?
That's what I
it's
was
like
wondering.
it's like
Yeah.
a traditional Japanese thing. He could have seen it. He's probably seen it before.
I guess.
I need, where did he get the outfit? Like, where did that outfit come from? He just has an outfit, like a
Ding.
whole.
Fucking smart. He suggested it to Elecmon, and they went, "Yeah, that seems smart. Let's do it."
Don't cinema sins me, you motherfucker.
I will.
Ding.
Ding.
Anyway, they start doing a tug of war, and then Patamon gets Zenkai boost and throws Electron through a wall.
And he explodes.
And with
Actually,
the- and
it's a
the-
squishy cube.
Yeah, he throws them into a cube, and then like it bursts out with feathers, foreshadowing.
Yep, I was about to say
Foreshadowing.
more and more foreshadowing. Lots and lots of suspiciously white feathers drifting down. So Elecmon admits defeat, which I don't remember what exactly the point of that was.
They blew off some steam.
Yeah, the cooldown. It's
And
better
then
than
they're
getting
like-
electrocuted.
And then the Electron tries to force in a lesson about, oh, it's important for people to work together and sort out their differences. And I'm like,
He was
sure,
the
buddy.
instigator here.
And then I believe right at the end of the episode we get Devimon saying, telling Leomon to very specifically kill the baby because
Kill the child.
Kill the child. He's the only one who hasn't digivolved yet. Kill him. He'll be the easiest prey.
And then it just ends in this really funny shot of Leomon just glaring at the babies.
Kill the child.
Dub time.
Welcome
It's
to
also.
the...
I feel like it's also worth mentioning the part where Kaguru doesn't like them fighting because presumably his parents fought when they got divorced.
I hadn't
Maybe,
considered
but they
that
didn't-
actually.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, because he mentions it specifically. He's like, when friends fight something like it's okay, but when adults fight, he like trails off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't really get the
Not
point later.
directly, but it like when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, he probably doesn't like to fight because when his parents fought, they didn't live together anymore.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually caught that. Jesus Christ. It makes a lot of
So
sense.
I
though.
mean,
It's
even if he
always
didn't
strange.
mention it, it's an easy thing to infer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I always forget that these kids are actually dealing with some pretty
Yeah.
real shit back home. Do they keep that in the dub at all? I doubt it, but
Oh, it's funny you mentioned the dub. All right, time for
I think someone would be shot if you mentioned divorce in an American kid show in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's true. Absolutely. All right, the Dub Zone, episode 12. Adventure Patamon and I has been changed to Digi Baby Boom.
Oh
Okay.
no!
The Elecmon attack, which was Sparkling Thunder in Japanese, has been changed to Super Thunder Strike.
That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I dig it.
My death blow technique.
Yeah.
The Sora recap ends with her saying, "It was the Bakuman holiday, just another day in paradise."
All right.
What?
You know. Okay, so something like this mon has been changed to Porkymon because it's a
Sure.
pig. Yeah. With his I think they don't really give an attack name or anything. They just make the joke that it's a pig. And it must be like this mon is Hogmon with his attack Super Sniff.
Hmm.
Did you hear about this band?
Now we get to the part of the episode that made me so upset I actually had to take a break from watching the dub.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Remember how I started waxing poetic about how well directed this episode was because of the really somber shots showing the isolation Takaru was feeling?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
What
there's
if
that silence, so fill it with
Oh
noise.
no.
I already knew. Like, no, fucking, that's like the fucking go-to of all these shitty dubs from the 90s. It's like there can't be a moment of silence. And
Heaven
if there's a
forbid
shot where no character's
reflection.
mouths are, where you can't see anyone's
Mhm.
mouths moving, then that's perfect. The perfect spot to just insert a load of white noise.
So yeah, he's just talking over the entire scene, and when the train goes by, because it's the wind causing things to happen, but the train signal was down, so the dub has him say, "It must be the most silent, invisiblest train." In that case,
Oh,
Hmm.
because he's a child and he
Of
says
course.
weird things like the silent most something
yeah.
train.
Uh, So for whatever reason, because the note he picks up is in Japanese, even though it's on a pure white background, they opted to not translate this like they did for Joe's note on the ground. Instead, they just refer to it as digicode.
Hmm.
Japanese is now digicode. When he's encouraged to rub the egg, he says maybe a genie or a digi genie will come out. I'm gonna wish for a skateboard. And then he has the
Uh-oh.
flashback and he talks over the entire
Oh
flashback.
no. I remember when I was a kid, my older brother, something.
It's shockingly close, actually. He's like, "Da, da, da, I fell over or something. And then I remember
Mhm.
someone coming. I don't, it's like narrating a flashback. Like,
Let the flashback do the topic talking. God's sake.
children are stupid. They don't understand things without words. So remember when Patamon and Elecmon are fighting and like it's showing like the meter on the Digivice slowly getting to maxed out?
Do
Yeah.
they
Oh yeah, we
not?
didn't even mention that.
Anything
Yeah.
about that?
No. So in the sub, because Takaru can't see the Digivice, he doesn't know this is happening, so he doesn't like mention it. He's just worried about them fighting. In the dub,
Uh-oh.
he says, "This is very bad. He's digivolving?"
Huh?
Huh? What? Just actually going against what happens in the episode?
Yes, I think
Okay.
the dubbers. At this point, I'm genuinely convinced the people dubbing this show did not have a script of like, or did
Same.
not have the original audio. They must have only had visuals. Some of this stuff literally only makes like we're talking abridged level, like inserts for dialogue to the point where like they're just looking what's on the screen and just ad-libbing based on that is what some of these dub like sections feel like. It's absurd how bad they are. Um Alekmon calls Patamon a wind-headed two-toned pork chop, which I thought was funny.
Start calling people that.
TK, not Takaru, because this is a different character, casually admits to animal abuse because he talks about painting their cat at one point.
What?
Something about like I think this is when he's trying to get them to stop arguing. He mentioned something about, oh man, my parents they got mad at me all the time. Like that one time I painted our cat.
Rookie.
I see.
Yeah. And then so remember when like at toward the end of their like fight when Takeru like is like talking to himself and then it cuts to him screaming at them to stop fighting. In the
Mhm.
dub, they're casually talking. It cuts to TK doing his like angry face, and he's just like, I don't want to fight ever. Like he screams it, and then it just cuts back to normal conversation. And like the way he does the line read, this is why I said this earlier, seems like he was reading a line, it cut to the shot, and he very quickly adjusted his tone to match what was on screen, and then went back to normal after.
Hmm.
It's unreal how bad it is. Like these two episodes in particular, 11 and 12, were like beyond the pale for how genuinely fucking terrible the dub was and how it handled everything. I was actually angry, like genuinely upset having to sit through this shit. Fuck Saban. It's at the point where I'm starting to note because at the beginning of every dub episode they list the writers. I'm starting to note the writers' names for particularly bad episodes. And so I can prepare myself if I see them on screen. And now we will get right back into it. After
With
that
episode.
Yep,
13?
episode 13. Angemon Awakens. This is this is technically the season finale, is the finale of the first core.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I mentioned this while we were recording, but I've heard this mentioned to me before that the show was supposed to end with 13 episodes. It was supposed to, just be like a short little promotional thing for like V-Pets or the card game or whatever they had at the time. But then it was actually pretty popular, so it was like, well, just keep it going.
They said, fuck it, we ball.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of get that vibe of like, okay, because they really start to like, oh yeah, because around this time they really start to be like, they build up to like this like climax where like everyone's like making their way to the island.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does, like, again, it is the ending of the first core and like the first arc of the show. So like it has that like that kind of finality to it. And then the last 2 minutes of the episode happens where it's very clear that they were not expecting to get more.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we're at the end of the episode. So the
And
episode
we pick up right where we left off with fucking Leomon just in his kill the child.
Kill the child.
Kill the child.
Is that this episode like quite literally picks up basically where the previous one left off. Takuro is still in Babyburg, whatever the hell the actual name of the place was. I forget it. And then Leomon shows up.
You never believe it, but Patamon says Leomon's usually a good Digimon.
Yeah. Despite us already knowing that.
It's just like they just it has to be like a bit at this point. They have to know.
Yeah.
Or do they?
So the first thing Leomon does is take a baby hostage.
No, it's not Leomon. It's
oh, that's right. Ogremon shows up too and takes a baby hostage.
Yeah.
Forgot Ogremon shows up.
Leomon's just like he's going straight for Takuro.
Yeah, he just starts swinging.
And Takuro and Patamon are desperately trying to get away. And just when it seems like they're about to get run through by a sword, Garurumon shows up to intercept Leomon.
Yeah. In this episode, Leomon is like weird looking, right?
Well,
or is this later in the episode?
It's right after when he gets hit by many black gears all at once.
Yeah. That's the one. Is that like an actual?
No.
Nope. They just made him look weird because he's big and evil now.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if that's an actual form, Leomon variant, because it looks like it could be.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it's just like a Monster Hunter thing. It's
okay.
Anyway, Garurumon and Leomon are tussling, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I'm warning you, if you don't surrender, gonna hurt this little baby," and then Greymon just slams him.
Well, first Taichi very stealthily grabs the baby.
He tiptoes in, yoinks the baby, and then Greymon floors him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even call it stealthily. Like he just kind of walks up and is like,
"It's true."
Yeah, that was super sneaky. What are you talking about?
He quite literally walks up, reaches over to grab it, and then leaves. Or no, he doesn't even leave. He taunts Ogremon about it. And then Greymon just rinses Ogremon. at which point Leomon gets hit by like 6 black gears at once, grows bigger, and gets a darker color scheme.
That's
Uh,
just that. That's just
It's
the.
like it's like what happens in Dark Souls when you're a guy with a lot of souls. You just grow to like you grow big.
So
Yeah.
true. Leomon is very, very adamant about killing the smallest child first.
Like he has to die.
Mhm.
It's like troll me. If as long I forget if this gets brought up later, but I don't know why they're so insistent on if I just kill one chosen child, I win.
I think it's because like the prophecy specifically mentions all of the chosen children. So like if one
Yeah.
of them's gone, I assume unless no, because Devimon kind of sort of implies he already knows Patamon's
Yeah.
evolution and how it's like a direct counter, sort of. They're really vague with it. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Uh, Togemon appears, diving from the air, making punching motions, and then she just fucking headbutts Leomon.
From the top rope.
The punching was just like a moral, she was like psyching herself up.
Yeah.
She does fucking what do they call it? Prickly bomber.
Chicka chicka bang bang.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, they now that Leomon has been subdued, I guess more like he was
Yeah.
tackled in the ground. Taichi and Yamato both use their digivices to once again drive the gears out of Leomon's body and free him from Devimon's control.
They should have found out this trick earlier. They wouldn't have had to fight.
Yeah, it would have been real helpful before.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, Leomon gathers around the children who are actually here because, again, Joe and Sora are manually making their way to the island, so they're not here. He gathers them all around and kind of fully reveals the prophecy to all of them about how there was going to be a specific chosen humans who were going to arrive in the digital world, and they alone would allow Digimon to digivolve. Is like the way he words it.
Yeah,
I think it.
I guess it's like oh they'll like surpass their limits or something like that is
Yeah.
I guess what they meant. But the way he says it, it makes it imply like this is the only way a Digimon can digivolve, which is just wrong.
Mhm.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like the way he says that had me thinking it too until I was corrected.
Yeah,
Like I thought
it's
they just couldn't digivolve.
yes,
Period.
it is. They kind of play fast and loose with lore about how Digimon work, depending on what series you're watching. I feel like at this point they just hadn't really thought about it yet. As far as
Mhm.
like, are adult levels just born? Perfects just born naturally? Do they
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna keep in mind this is like really early days, like well, relatively early days for Digimon.
Yes. It's like not even a year after the VPET was introduced, basically.
Yeah.
And the only other material at this point was V Tamer, which again, uh, the V Tamer version of Taichi is the only one, or well, Tamers are the only ones that can allow Digimon to digivolve. Except that's not even true. Well, because that's way later in the series that they evolve
Yeah.
naturally.
I just remembered. I have a note here from before when they fix Leomon. Someone tells Garurumon to run. He just sits there. He doesn't it doesn't even animate. He's just like, huh?
Yeah, he just
That's
stands there for like
right,
a good few
yeah.
seconds and just takes it.
He gets hit by the fist of the Beast King. Yamato's like,
Mhm.
Garurumon, dodge! And then it just gets hit.
It's like 5 seconds of him, like not even like multiple frames, just him just standing there. It's so funny.
He thought he could take it.
He
So
really
great.
did.
So yeah,
His AirPods were in.
yeah, Leomon reveals that. One of them asks how he knows they are the chosen children, which seems like a stupid question, all things considered. But
Do
he,
you see any other children?
yeah,
Mhm.
I believe he gives them an actual answer though.
Yeah.
It's because they have the digivices.
Yeah,
They
that-
were given.
Yeah, it's because you have the Digivice, so
Like, you know, those things that you have that you've been using.
The holy device.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because Coach was like, yeah, well, yeah, there was the temple Digivices, so yeah, it's the prophecy.
something like that.
So at this point, we cut back to Devimon and Ogremon, who are Ogremon is apologizing for failing to capture the children. At which point, Devimon's like, "Don't worry, I have another way for you to be useful." And then
Then
he
he eats him.
grabs him and he makes him explode into black gears.
Yeah.
Just in case you're like, throw back to our first episode. Where
Yeah.
like, does he make the gears? Or yes, he makes the gears.
So yes, he explodes people and they turn into black gears. So we now know that.
I want to get exploded and turned into black.
I don't
gears.
want that.
I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
I just want to experience it once, you know?
You only
know.
get to experience it once.
Exactly.
It's the thrill of it all. It's the anticipation that's the good part.
So like, I'm trying to remember. Just yeah, everyone just goes, okay, we're preparing,
Mhm.
we're getting ready, and then they all head off to the mountain.
Yep, and then they're all just back, except Sora and Joe because they are still working their way
Yeah.
there.
Also, so they get to the mountain, and then all of a sudden, just Devimon just starts sprouting out of like this little temple at the top of the mountain.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Everyone's-
oh hey, it's like the opening.
Yeah,
It wasn't just a representation of Devimon's presence on this island. No, he's literally going to grow really big.
And let's be clear, not just any mountain. Mugen Mountain.
Mugen Mountain.
Mugen means infinity.
Mhm.
Translator's note. Keikaku means plan.
He gets really, really big. Just like
And
cuz.
so
Just
everyone,
because.
yeah, so everyone's like, oh well, let's go then. They all digivolve and they try to fight him. It goes very badly.
they
Hmm.
get washed.
It
They
literally
tried.
the way that they attack him, it's like they all like grab onto his legs in such a way that reminds me of like I used to babysit for the kids next door, and they would sometimes just like sit on my feet to try and prevent me from moving.
They
Like,
do
you know,
kind
grabbing-
of, yeah, they do
Grabbing
kind of do
onto
that.
my leg, yeah.
They all-
Leomon jumps in and also tries to help, but also, I guess he didn't just devour Ogremon. Ogremon's like sprouts out of him. It's
Yeah,
Kinda
Yeah,
gross
it's weird. He
looking.
comes out of his stomach.
it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Also, so I believe I think it's Leomon gets like tossed back into the tree line.
Mhm.
Very funny animation error where the hole that he punches in the trees
Yeah.
looks like it's made of rock. It's like
It's really
jagged
weird.
and has, yeah, like I guess at first it was supposed to be a mountain he got thrown into, but then they changed the background to a tree line at some point and they just forgot to redo the whole texture. There was actually a couple animation errors in episode 12 as well. There was like one of the baby Digimon shadows is on the wrong layer, so it was over another one. And then when Leomon was sliding down the mountain, his shadow was green.
oops.
Oops, poopsie. They start getting washed. Devimon does this thing where he grabs one of them and just fucking throws them into the ground.
I actually wanted to bring this up too because it's like he's like, oh, he's fucking got that bowling stance. He's gonna score a strike.
It's such a funny move. Like just grabs it, wham, straight into the fucking ground.
At some point during this fight, Sora and Joe jump in to try and help, but they can't really do much either.
Get that they're also just getting rinsed. So yeah, at this point, basically everyone is on the ground and all hope seems lost.
And then Devimon's like, I'm going to kill the child.
Devimon is like, all right, you're all done. Now I'm going to specifically murder the youngest one because
Mhm.
again, that one's a problem. So he
And
starts
then
reaching for Takeru, and
And then
like,
Padamon's like, no, I need to step in. And then
Mhm.
Padamon does this a lot, by the way. There's a point where he's just like, oh, air shot, and it
Yeah.
does nothing.
mhm.
This happens like 4 or 5 times throughout the show so far.
Yep, I don't think Boom Bubble's ever. Boom Bubble. Jesus Christ, I just love Boom Bubble as a name. It's funny. I don't think that move has ever been effective, say for like the first time he used it.
I think you mean
It does
boom
something
bubble.
later
No,
on.
because he always goes boom bubble. Ha!
Every time.
Mhm.
Boom Bubble.
It does do something against fucking what's the little fucker with the wings? It's like it's a purple Digimon.
Eco Devimon.
That's the one.
Well, yeah, but we're
Yeah,
not there
he-
yet.
But that's
Yeah, I
later.
know.
We're not.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
it's
We're
later
not there
on.
yet. Talk about now.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
Devimon grips Takaru and Patamon within his hand. Is basically trying to crush them to death.
No,
Mhm.
it's weird because like he's just going for Takaru, but then Padawan's like, "No, I'm going with you."
Yes. If we die together.
and then Padawan like explodes.
Yeah. Quite literally explodes. And oh my god, it's an angel. There was no
Oh my
foreshadowing.
God.
I never could have seen this coming.
Who could have predicted this outcome?
It's not like it's the only thing they've spent the entire show foreshadowing.
So yeah, Angemon knows he cannot defeat Devimon as he is right now.
Mhm.
And he begins absorbing the power from the other Digimon,
And
I
he
guess?
channels the. I guess it's like more like channeling it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all de-digivolve when he does this.
He like he's like spirit. He's like gonna spirit bomb Devimon.
Pretty much.
Pretty much,
with,
yeah.
with the power from the amulets, because amulets, digivices, because they get rid of the black gears and shit. So yeah,
Mhm.
makes sense.
So yeah, he begins charging up, and his staff has like that orange glow to
Mhm.
it. Ogremon attempts to do something about it, but he gets reflected and disappears. He gets
Yeah,
just bounced
he
away.
goes, mind you, he goes straight through Devimon.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like okay. Yeah, he gets. I don't know if that's just was or was Angemon's power, or he just gets so scared he just forces himself out of Devimon.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he's blown a hole clear through Devimon and
Yeah.
essentially won the day. At which point, Devimon starts cope seethe malding about how I'm not even the strongest one. There's stronger ones out there, even
I thought
more
she-
evil and strong ones.
Hold
You
on,
didn't
hold
win.
on. He said he was. I thought he was the strongest evil Digimon.
I know. So
That's
he's
what
like,
they thought too.
he's just like, you didn't win. You didn't actually win. I'm not the strongest. There's others. You didn't win. Fuck you. And then he dies.
Yeah.
So Angemon like obliterated him, but to do it he had to sacrifice himself. So he's
Yes.
like saying his goodbye. So he's like he turns to like Takaru. It's like I was like, okay, you good luck everybody. It's like, oh, I'll see you again,
Peace.
Takaru, and then he like disappears
Mhm.
and he
Also,
leaves behind an egg.
can I just mention, I hearing Patamon's voice come out of Angemon feels wrong.
It does.
It's fucked
It's
up.
like it's like he's doing it. It's like their voice actor is doing like like they're not doing like the super high pitched voice. They're doing like a deeper voice, but it's it's
Mhm.
still like this very like
Still, yeah.
childish voice.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
boyish compared to what I'm used to Angemon sounding like, which is the dub version of him.
Yeah.
It's like Angemon.
So Angemon fucking dies. Then we get another Shadows cheese because under a pile of angel feathers there is a small egg, as he has been reverted to a Digitama. And then out of fucking nowhere,
Old man.
some rubble falls away, and there's a projector, and now Genai
Yeah.
is here.
It's just
Hey,
like, hey,
Genai.
Genai.
The last 2 minutes of this episode, Genai shows up with like, "Yo."
Yeah, I don't even think he gets to really say anything. He just suddenly, oh, hey, everyone. And then
Mhm.
the episode ends.
It's just
Yeah.
like the most. Oh shit! We need new plot points now.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder, was there a break between this and the next episode?
I don't think so.
there was.
No,
I
I
just
thi- I-
assume like I just
God.
think after a certain point they knew that the show would not end here, so they just
Mhm.
okay, Genai.
They had to quickly write something to lead into the next season, but like
Mhm.
they didn't leave
I
enough
will-
room.
Actually, now that I think about it, I feel like this may be like a sign, like a small sign of like how they're like, oh shit,
Mhm.
like they just threw in something to like tie into the rest of the just lead us into like what will be the rest of the show because no. Like I think maybe one or two of the people go, "Oh shit, a person," but there's not really much of a reaction to the fact that they
Yeah.
found another person.
Like at the beginning of the next episode, they talk about it, but it's not like they're just like, "Oh my god, a human!" Like you would think
Yeah,
they'd be freaking out after finally
Yeah.
meeting one.
It's a bit odd, actually.
But more importantly, it's time for the Dub Zone episode 13.
Awesome.
Oh boy.
The episode title was changed from Angemon Awakens to The Legend of the Digidestined, which I think is a better title because it at least
One, it
tries
doesn't
not to
spoil
spoil.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's just a killer name.
Yeah, it's a really Digidestined, in my opinion, is better than Chosen Children. Like, I'm sorry to
Same.
sub only people, but Digidestined is really cool.
No, I fully agree.
Maybe I just have an aversion to the dub's obsession with sticking Digi in front of
It's
everything.
No,
understandable.
I totally get you.
But the thing is, if the sub if it was only Digidestined, and that
That'd
was
be
the
fine. Yeah.
that would be
Mhm.
perfectly fine.
Yes. It's when you get shit like Prodigis, the Digipast, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Anjumon's move, Heaven's Knuckle, I think was actually left unchanged.
Yeah, I don't think.
Mhm.
Yeah, surprisingly, all the like religious iconography of Angemon just stays because I guess they're like,
Yeah.
well,
Wait.
it's Angemon. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
They're
I think
getting around that.
he doesn't say Heaven's Knuckle in the dub, or he doesn't say the attack name in the dub, I'm pretty sure. I
Mhm.
believe the official name for it is Hand of Fate, though.
That's a pretty cool name.
Actually, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I don't think they ever like because I know like well, not I guess somewhat spoilery. Like Seraphimon, like he has a move called Seventh Heaven, and that move
Mhm.
is still just called Seventh Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
TK does the recap. Nothing particularly interesting happens during it. It's just a pretty straightforward recap. There's a really funny line read from Leomon at the very start where he says, I'm gonna try to read this as accurately as I possibly can. I am your Herban Sovereign and will obey you. Devimon.
What?
He says, I am your humble servant and will obey you. In the span of half a second, pauses for a second, and then says Devimon.
I'm your house and I will be you.
Some nice friendship. Some nice friends. You got
Got there,
Davis.
Davis.
Oh, I can't wait.
Right. So in the dub, when they're using the digivices to Christ compels you, Leomon. In the dub, Ty's not talking about the digivices at all, so it flashes back to them while he's saying something totally unrelated, and it's really awkward. He's saying something like, "We have to take a chance," and then just randomly holds it up at Leomon, seemingly for no reason.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Devimon says that if the Digidestined are all able to evolve, they will come to possess superpowers.
Okay.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Who took my Chaos Emeralds?
And guys, I'm so happy to say it. An hour and a half into the session, the dub hates Mimi.
Damn.
She says something. It's the first episode she's shown up in, so of course it's gonna be immediate.
I mean, she was in previews and stuff. I'm sure they could have stuck something in.
You're so right. She says that she can finally change out of these clothes or something along those lines, but it's like I can finally change out of these clothes. Like one of just the line read is like oh god. Oh, sorry, and then immediately the dub hates Mimi. First thing on my list, do some killer shopping.
That's me.
Okay.
At one point during the fight with Leomon, Joe randomly shouts black gear unprompted. I don't even think there was one on screen at that point. The dub hates Mimi. She, when in reference to or talking about Togemon, she says, I love the way her colors match, which is very funny because her colors explicitly don't match. Red and green are contrasting colors, which,
Christmas.
yeah. Devimon says they say the smallest will destroy me, seemingly implying the prophecy was about him specifically when we know it isn't, which was bizarre. This might have been just a whole. Well, no, this was the dub, so I just didn't think about it. The dub hates Mimi.
Yay!
When dude, there's like 4 per episode, even maybe.
Say
even
the
more.
line, Lotte.
In reference to Anjumon, she says, "Nice hair, good color."
Me too. Honestly, It's a good.
No.
It's a good
I mean,
color.
okay,
That's kinda funny.
okay. I will be fair. That it was kind of funny. Yes.
It's
That's
like
pretty cute.
it's a good line, but like
Yeah.
it's one of those filler lines that they threw in because fashion.
Yeah.
Anjumon does not in any way, shape, or form in the dub imply he's going to be dying. So it happens out of fucking nowhere, and it kind of looks like he just pulled the dick move on TK. Because, like, in the sub, he very clearly is implying, like, even if, like, I have to stop you no matter the cost, etc., etc. In the dub, he does it, and then he just starts fading away, and everyone's like, whoa, what?
Good luck. Okay, bye.
When Okermon attacks him, he says, I'll stop you. Hi! Like, really loud. There's no ya. It's just the high part.
No, I was making a
Oh.
reference to a certain game
Yeah.
on the Switch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When he's fading away, he says to TK, I'll come back again if you want me to.
I don't
I
want you to.
That's it's not like a super faithful translation of like if you wish for it, but it's like it's sort of
It's
I think it works.
the language with the connotation just makes it seem like
You
he's just
want
like,
me
if you want me to.
pointing both my pointer fingers
Yeah.
together if you want me
I
to.
mean, whatever. It's nothing. You probably don't care.
Baka.
is that tsundere?
Yeah.
Tsundere Paramon?
Tsundere Anjumon. And Genai at the end says, I heard of you kids. And then the episode just ends.
oh, wait a minute.
Again, I jump scare.
So fucking
Alright.
funny.
I guess let's just jump right into the next one.
Yeah, we gotta go. All right,
Okay,
episode
so, well, I mean,
14.
thankfully, there's kind of not really too much to say here.
Yeah, I don't. I
Genai
have,
just
like,
kind of
notes.
like he introduces himself. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm Genai. I live on the other side of the planet.
The continent of server.
So you're the continent server." I'm like, there's a whole bunch. You can't go home yet. There's a whole other land of bad guys for you to beat.
I like the implication of continent server in that there is other continents, possibly continent hard drive,
So they're
continent
just like,
solid state drive,
yeah,
continent
power
RAM,
of the SSD. Anyway,
random access memory.
he's like, and so they're all like, "Oh well, damn. Well, we could barely beat Digimon with these. How are we gonna beat all these other guys that are apparently even stronger?" And he's like, "Well, it's fine. We've got the crests, and
yeah, the
we've
tags
got
and the crests.
The tags and the crests. You can use these, and your Digimon become even stronger." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Where do we find them?"
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so how
They're
do we get
hidden.
home? How do we
I don't
get
know.
home? I don't know. How do we
Yeah.
get? Okay, well, how do we meet you? I don't know.
I don't know.
You're useless. You know that, old man.
So they ask
Winning the item
Genai
of the
like
horror.
they ask him like 6 separate questions, and his answer to every single one of them is either evasive or I don't know. They're like, "Are you a human? I kind of am, but I'm also kind of not. Who called us here? I don't know."
Okay, so in my notes, I just have, and I forget why I did that.
You have what? Your mic cut you out.
Yeah, I just have ah.
I don't know why you
I
have
think
that.
someone
actually.
just randomly goes at something.
Just screams
Every
for no
time
reason.
you do it, it cuts out, which it makes
Yeah.
it funnier.
So before they all decide, yeah, let's do it, Joe ridiculously suggests, let's just live on this island.
Yeah, we're gonna live here for the rest of our lives.
After trying so vehemently to like believe that there were other people, he finally gives in to despair and is like, let's just live here.
So
I mean, yeah.
So they decide, all right, we're gonna go Kingdom Hearts. We're gonna build a big
Mhm.
raft, go to the server continent,
Mhm.
and all the Digimon they've befriended show up to help them.
It's a nice cute sequence.
Yeah, and I think Taichi's like, how did you know? And Leomon's like, some of us monsters love to
Yeah.
gossip.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we love the drama.
and that my note for that is, why is Leomon so fruity?
I'm just imagining Leomon watching one of those like YouTuber drama videos. That he needs the tea.
Very
Just spreading
important.
that shit.
There's montage music by Koji Wada here.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's
Awesome.
biggest thing of note for this whole thing. They build a raft, but it's like, oh, Koji Wada insert. It's a
Really,
nice little
really
song.
good. Yeah.
Very nice.
They show like cutting down basically the entire forest, and then the raft is like 10 logs across.
Yeah, it's like I think you maybe did a little much here. So they
and like they all get in the ocean and everything, and then Poyamon hatches. Like I forgot this happens immediately.
I think this happens like before the raft even leaves.
And then Takaru makes this face, which is, you know,
Ah!
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
Don't look at me with those big old eyes.
So they say goodbye to everyone. Leomon, the dickhead, just lets these kids go by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really much to say at the moment. They just they sail along a bit. They're like, okay, how long is this gonna take?
The ocean is made of gradient blue circles.
Oh yeah, they
really
are just
important.
like sliding blue JPEGs on top of each other. It's like, oh, we were just talking about how the show suddenly looks a lot better. I don't know what they were doing here.
Yeah, this episode doesn't look that great.
You gotta understand, animating water is hard.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are better ways to go about it than literally just sliding a blue JPEG.
Yeah.
And then Waymon shows up.
Yeah, the elusive the elusive adult level Waymon.
And then
Not to be confused with the bird.
I forget that we get one. I'm pretty sure we get another instance. But wait, that's a nice Digimon or a docile Digimon, and then he just eats them.
And then he swallows them.
And they're like it's like that bit from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where they're all like going down the tube.
Yeah,
it's all red.
The tube.
And they mentioned
and then they're
that
like, where are we going?
We gotta get out somehow.
It's like, oh, we're gonna go down. We're probably gonna go out the rear end. And then like he's like, oh god, no, I don't want that. And then Palmon just goes like poop.
like poop.
Like poop.
And I misread that, so in my notes I just have in quotes, I like poop.
Damn it. Yeah, Palmon says like poop, and Mimi's like, don't say that.
No.
You can't say that.
So they arrive in the stomach, and it immediately begins filling with stomach acid, which I think Takaru points out is like, isn't that the stuff that like digests you? And everyone's like,
yeah, and then you just start hearing like a sizzling noise because it's melting their boat.
Then they look up and they see that there's a black gear embedded in Waymon's stomach lining.
And then they're like, oh, they break the gear, and then
Palmon creates a bridge for Taichi to climb like a monkey hump.
Yeah. Poison. Oh yeah, Poison Ivy does something.
Yeah.
They had to have a reason to bring back Monkey Taichi again.
And then immediately Waymon comes to his senses and spits them all out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
They all get blowholed.
And then he's like, "Well,
can you take us?"
And he's like, "Well, yeah, you did that for me. I broke your raft. I'm sorry. I'll take you there." And then at some point while they're traveling, someone mentions they're looking for the crest, and he's like, I saw Devimon drop something in the ocean. Let's go down there.
I just want to point out, because this is important to me personally, when he mentions that when Waymon mentions he's going to take them to the continent of Server, Mimi goes yay and throw her arms up and then almost immediately drowns.
Oh yeah, and then Palmon's like, oh god,
she's so stupid. I love
her.
She's just like me for real.
So Waymon just takes them all to this underwater cave. And it's like, okay, good luck in there.
And
then
I can't go any further.
So they walk for a bit, and there's a fucking 7-Eleven in this deep sea cave.
So
of course,
this has to be like a tongue-in-cheek joke, right? That it's like, oh, we found a fucking convenience store down here where the tags are hidden. That's convenient, and there has to be a tongue.
That's the joke.
It has to be.
Like, oh well, let's start digging around, and then all of a sudden, Dromojimon shows up. And yet another Digimon with the gear.
It's
that gear just another one. I mean, presumably Dromojimon.
I mean, yes, he was left there. He literally says he was left there to guard the store. But there's not really much to say there. Ikakumon just kind of solos him.
Yeah.
There is something.
Yeah.
Gomamon is the first to evolve, like the champ he is.
I think Kabatarimon's there as well. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's a bit
For
of
a
a
little
nothing.
bit,
but,
yeah.
like,
He gets into
Kabatarimon's the one
design.
that actually busts the
Breaks
gear.
the gear. Yeah.
So like, yeah, they just beat the shit out of him. And then the only note I have about Dromojimon is just when he goes back to normal, he suddenly becomes very timid, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm so showy," and then he runs away.
Yep. Like
And you know,
they-
because
that's it.
they're like, "Where are the crests?" And he's like, "They're in the store somewhere."
Yeah, they're in
And
there.
but which he says, but by that point, I think Taku has already found them by the time he
Yeah.
tells them.
Well, Poyomon found them. Let's give credit where it's due. Poyomon found the tags. They're in a random box that was like buried under some rubble because they blew up the convenience store. So they
And
were
yeah, they find the crests, and
they
then
were
they
just
just
in there.
continue on their way.
Real quick note for the end of this episode. The ending music sounds suspiciously like Pokemon music. The opening
Yes!
notes. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who heard it. It was the ba ba da ba, and I was like, Pokemon? What?
But it just keeps going. Like it keeps going. The real question is, which one came first?
Probably Pokemon.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
So, yeah,
moving
it's like-
right
it's
along.
It's just like it's well, yeah, it's an important episode, but it's like it's not. There's not really too much that actually. There's not really. It's very easy to
Happens.
just summarize.
Yeah.
All right,
it
dub
was-
time.
Yes. The Dub Zone, episode 14. The episode title, Set Sail to a New Continent, was changed to Departure for a New Continent. Pretty much the same. Dromogomon's name and moves were unchanged. They are still Drill, Spin, and Crusher Bone. Ty does the recap. Nothing interesting there. Genai is a character in the dub. He mentioned that there was interference, and then he says, "But now the lines are clear, and only 10 cents a minute."
Okay.
Oh, yeah, in the sub he does actually mention that he was trying to contact the
Yes.
kids, but Davimon was preventing him.
Then he says, "I forgot you're out of town. Let me make a map on your computer."
Okay.
Makes sense.
The dub hates Mimi? Question mark. This is a committee decision here. In the sub, Mimi mentions the fact that she can't even swim 25 meters, let alone cross the entire ocean. In the dub, they changed it to can't even swim across the bathtub,
It's kind
Yeah,
of funny.
which feels like an
That's-
unnecessarily harsh change to make.
Little
So
bit, but it's pretty
I can't
funny.
even say that's a dub hates Mimi change specifically because they're just constantly changing stuff like that to be ridiculous.
True, I guess that was just like them punching up the script. All right, I'm not going to count that one. Take a one away from the counter. I'm not going to do that. That's too much editing work. I just won't edit in the first place.
I count usually. I feel like just there just needs to be like a hint of misogyny for it to count as dub hates Mimi.
Either that or they
Yeah.
change her line entirely. Speaking of which, the dub hates Mimi. She mentions that I don't even know what the fashions are like on server. Which great, cool. That just
Yeah.
replaced a.
Does she know what the fashions are like on file?
Of course not. At some point, someone says something about they grew up very fast, and someone says, except Joe, he threw up very fast.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
When they have been swallowed by Waymon, the dub hates Mimi. Mimi says it's damaging my hair all the way to my roots. Palmon says use my roots. To which Mimi responds, "You're a plant."
I mean,
It's a funny bit.
she's not wrong.
It's just like it was the hair comment that mostly was because when they remove the black gear from Waymon, they say, "I bet that's the last one," and someone replies, "I bet you're wrong."
That
Which
is
was
pretty funny.
one of I actually had to pause. I was laughing so hard because it was the delivery. It was like, "I bet that's the last one. I bet you're wrong."
Who said it?
I don't remember. I should have written it down. I don't remember who said it. I think it might have been Gomamon, honestly.
Gomamon, of course.
And then the back half of the episode is almost so straightforward. It's not even worth talking about. Nothing happens in it during the whole Dromojimon bit.
All right.
Straight into episode 15, ETEMON, Grand Entrance of Evil.
Well, now the show can really start.
It's-
Yes.
Yeah.
What's really funny about my notes is usually I do I just do like an episode 14 like and then a colon.
Mhm.
This one before it says episode 15 colon it says oh fuck Edemon.
Let's
The grand entrance
go.
of evil.
Oh,
Edemon's the fun. It's so funny that we go from this devil to funny monkey.
He
monkey.
is stronger than Devimon, by
He
the
is-
way.
he's-
Just
Yeah,
in
he
case,
is
just in
much
case you got it
stronger.
twisted.
Significantly stronger.
Yeah.
So they reach server continent,
Hmm.
and there's like a little back and forth where it's like, oh god, why are we getting off? Mimi's like, oh god, why are we getting off here? It's like, we already talked about this, Mimi. You were
Mhm.
sleeping.
She was sleeping. Koshiro
And then
points out.
Waymon just bounces
Yeah.
her off.
Koshiro points out there was another landing spot a little ways away, but it would take a little while to get there. At which point Waymon's like, "Nope," and just fucking kicks her out.
And all right, let's like, and he tells them to go to the Koromon village, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
While
And
they're walking,
Agumon's like, okay,
yeah,
actually,
well,
I'm speeding a bit. You go ahead.
yeah, while they're walking, Mimi asks for an ETA down to the second. She's like, "How many hours? How many minutes? How many seconds until we get there?"
He's so real for that
Give me
one.
the status
Honestly.
report.
I have multiple notes during this episode that just says Mimi is valid. Mimi is so right for this.
And then, so then Agumon's like, oh wait, I smell the Koromon. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he leads them to an empty village.
Yes.
At
I
which
think it's
point
got-
Mimi's like, oh god, civilization, and just starts running in. And then,
Yeah.
but Agumon's like, this is weird. Something's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she meets a group of completely and utterly innocent little fellas.
Yeah, these are
Look
my
at them.
guys. These
They're-
are my people.
There's literally one on your head.
Yeah, look at
He's
him.
minding his own business.
Little dude.
Anyway, they
Yeah.
immediately kidnap Mimi.
Yeah, they fought. Yeah, there's like the
Yeah.
shot where like they like fucking grab like just as a big group grab her and like run off and then just leave behind Palmon on the floor.
Such a good fucking bit. So everyone realizes Mimi's been kidnapped and begins tracking her down. They
find
hear
like
her-
a house.
Yeah, they hear her
She
voice
screams.
coming from inside the larger center building. Then they find her hat on the staircase.
Find her bag.
They find her bag, and then they hear her like in a room, and Taichi's like, oh, she's there, and immediately begins barging in. At which point Sora like realizes where she is, and she's like, no, and but it's too late.
No,
Of
don't
course.
go. And then he's like, oh, she's in the bath, and she starts screaming at them to fuck off.
And Taichi's just like, like apologizes, but keeps the fucking curtain open because he's
Yeah.
you know
He's an idiot.
Yeah. So then,
And then they're like, yeah, like
then
I guess this
Koshiro
is.
shows up, right?
Yeah, Koshiro was also there
Yeah.
and gets also kicked
No.
out.
And then they're like, oh, well, I guess this wasn't the Koromon village, it's the Pagumon
Mhm.
village.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, yes, we're the lovely, friendly Pagumon. We're not up to anything at all.
We are very nice, smile.
Yeah, they're like, I
Mhm.
thought Pagumon were supposed to be like mischievous Digimon that like to bully people. And they're like, nah, those are rumors.
Yeah,
No,
Temptamon's,
I
Temptamon's
think-
racist for a second.
Yeah.
I think Gomamon is like, maybe it's just a rumor, and they're like, yeah,
It's like,
just
yeah, it's a rumor.
rumors.
It's a rumor. Like every time someone says like, oh, well, maybe they are nice after all. Yes, we're very nice, very nice.
We're very good people. I think one of them says we would never be tricked twice, which is like one of the funniest.
Right.
They
fucking-
don't know chat.
And then so they treat them all to a feast and they have a big party and they're like, yay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, Toyomon just evolves back into Tokomon.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they start celebrating and they sing a little
And like,
song.
yay. And then all the Pagumon just start making evil faces.
Yeah.
And then immediately after that, Tokomon, right?
Pokemon, yeah.
Tokomon
they
gets
just,
a crime.
they
for
kidnap
that.
Tokomon and they're like, this is what you get for evolving in our
Yeah.
village.
I think the implication is that they see that it's Tokomon, which is the same stage as Koromon, and they're like,
Yeah.
awooga.
Babies
Gotta-
must die.
Yeah.
They know they can take
So-
on the Tokomon, so they
Yeah, they
Fucking-
they also just beat up Tokomon
they
and throw him in a
hog
cage.
tie him.
And then Gazimon's some Gazimon show. We're like, what the fuck are you playing at? And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
the chosen children are here. And they're like, oh god, we gotta tell Edemon.
Yeah, one of them volunteers to go tell the funny monkey
And he goes on like what seems like a multi-day
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
eventually winding up at a really cool like ship graveyard thing where it's like a bunch of ships that are studded upright,
He's like, "ETEMON sama."
and then the monkey bus shows up.
Yeah, and that's like one of my most vivid memories of the show. It's just like there's like a bit where they're like dealing with like a monkey and he's driving around in this like truck, right?
Yeah, and Gazimon like asks for Edamon to open up, and the whole side of the truck opens with like the smoke pouring out of it.
And they're playing like
Edamon's in that pose, baby.
yeah, he's like, "Yeah, baby," and they're playing like this weird like
love
Johnny
Edamon.
Be Good ripoff.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking good. The Gazimon begins talking to Edamon, and he says in English, "Shut up."
Shut up! And he just starts, and like he just does not let Gazimon finish because he's just like, "Oh, shut up! I've got to prepare for my plan. I'm gonna
Yeah.
ambush those chosen children, get him good." It's like, but sir, we're already here.
He's like, "What?" And then he hits the computer, and the position on the map changes, and he's like, "No,
why is
shit."
sir, our intel is outdated. For fuck's sake."
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal. God, I love.
Yeah, it's like, no, yeah, he's funny. He is very
Edamon
funny.
is so good.
And then it's
Genuinely.
immediately like, oh wait, shit, I should get moving. And then he's
Mhm.
like, you forget like, because I remember like, oh, he has the power to sing, and there's other, and like you can punch and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I forgot about his dark network power,
Yeah,
where he like puts out like his tendrils and like he makes his truck move.
he can control all electronics or something similar to that. Is like the explanation they give for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
It's
got his
just
weird.
a very weird power for him to have.
Yeah,
Considering he's literally just a monkey.
yeah. It's like apropos of nothing. He can just make.
Because I don't think that's like
cables.
a power he's been given by someone or
No.
anything. It's just
He can
something
just
he
do
can
that,
do.
yeah.
Dark network is just one of his moves.
Yeah. For some reason.
Back at the village, they are all freaking out over the disappearance of Tokomon. Izzy, or sorry, Coach, God, forgive me. It has drawn up a map, like a crude map, and is like marking off spots that they've already been to. And the Pagumon show up and say, "We checked the waterfall. There was no one there," so he marks it
The
off.
waterfalls where they're hiding the
yeah.
or the Tokomon.
And
In addition to all the Koromon
yes,
who this village actually belongs to.
yeah. They're having like a conversation about like I forget what, but like I believe one of them says like something about them being troublesome and like the most troublesome one, and Mimi deflects it to Joe. At which point he's like, he's talking about you. And she's like, what? Fucking love Mimi so much. That's not, it can't be. Agumon starts
Because
like,
you know he can because he can still sniff out the Koromon, so he very quickly tracks them down.
And then immediately gets jumped.
And he's like, "Oh shit, Tokomon! I'll get you guys out of here." And then he gets just beat the shit kicked out of him by 3 Gazimon.
Yeah, well, it's 2 Gazimon. The third one went to go fetch Edamon. The 2 Gazimon just show up and immediately begin beating his ass. So he has the bright idea to continuously fire baby flames at the waterfall to
let off
make
like
steam.
a smoke signal.
Yeah. So he creates a smoke signal so everyone knows they're there. And
then everyone's like, "Wait a minute, why is there a fire over there?"
Like they're just like, that can't. We checked the waterfall. There was no one there, and they're just like,
And then
he could have showed up after.
instantly quick, and then I think it's Mimi's like, "Oh my god, what's this thing?" And she's holding a Botamon.
Yeah. Yeah, she's sitting on the bench and it's like on her lap, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
And it's like, why
it's a
would a
Botamon.
Botamon be
Yeah,
in a
'cause-
Pagumon village?
Oh no, I guess no. I was about to say Takuru's the only one that's seen the baby, but they were all there at the baby zone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of the Digimon says, "Oh, that's a Botamon. It turns into Koromon."
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Wait a fucking second here." At which point the Pagumon just are like, "Well, jig is up. Bye."
Shit, run.
Just immediate mask off.
No. They don't run. They dance away.
Whee!
Yeah, they're like,
I
this
love-
is
I
not a
love the-
Pagumon village.
I love Pagumon so much. They're just such little bastards.
Little assholes. So everyone rushes to the waterfall, allowing Agumon to digivolve, and he just instantly
And just
wrecks-
kills
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
The Gazimon are just
So-
instantly destroyed.
Herein lies my plot hole. if you recall in the first episode that we watched with Joe and Sora, their Digimon digivolved without their partners being there, right?
I think the idea was that because they were just in the basement of the same building, so they were close enough. I
Oh,
think it's a
You know, they were
which
yeah,
is
they were literally just
yeah,
right beneath them. They were
which
right
is
there.
which is why once
Okay.
Taichi gets close enough, Agumon's able to digivolve.
Yeah. Because
Yeah, it's
because the whole thing is like Agumon's like, oh, if I could just become Greymon, I could just beat them right there, but I don't know where Taichi is.
mhm. Yeah, he wrecks them, and then at long last,
Then oh, here he comes.
the monkey has
Here he
arrived.
And he's like, hello, children, hello.
"Can you hear me?" As he's like
It's me,
projecting.
ETEMON. I'm here to kill you.
I'm just saying, if I were like a 10-year-old child and I saw this, I'd be like, that's just a guy in a suit.
That's what I
I'm
thought for
pretty
the
sure he's
longest time.
supposed to look. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's supposed to look like a guy in a suit. I think if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, ETEMON's actually based on one of the creators.
Oh my god.
That's really funny.
Yeah, so he shows up. He immediately uses his dark network to basically take control of like everything in the immediate vicinity. So everyone digivolves. At which point he uses Love Serenade,
He's in love, Serenade.
and it's so harsh that all of them digivolve and it drains their power.
Yeah.
So they all have to retreat into the waterfall cavern, which is
It's like yeah, and he's just like is like his dark network thing is also just like raining like lightning down on everyone.
yeah, it's
It's like okay, no, this guy's like immediately just oh god, he's way worse than fucking
mhm.
Devimon.
Yeah.
So the Koromon lead them into their secret hidey hole that they go into when things are getting bad, which is further back
It's like
into the waterfall
like,
cave.
it's like oh, there's a big funny marking on the wall, and then all of a sudden the whole room starts glowing,
Mhm.
and then it all shrinks down into like a tiny little crest that goes into Taichi's tag.
Yeah, so Taichi just kind of gets his crest. He just kind of gets it.
Didn't really earn it. He just kind of found it.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, to be fair, like, we'll get into this later. The point of the crest is, getting the crest is whatever, like,
Yeah.
you need to,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
use the,
using
like,
yeah, it's just one of those things where like I remembered there being more involvement in actually obtaining the crests, but no, I guess not.
It is in
was
the
just
others, I think.
the other ones have a bit more like involvement because yeah, like
I assume for
think
them
so,
it's
yeah.
also, like, like, there's, like, a lesson, and then they get the
Yeah, yeah,
crest,
yeah.
and then the crest,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Mhm.
it's just, like, well, to be fair, Taichi's is gonna be a little different from everyone else's.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
he's the main character.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
Also,
also because of what's about to happen next episode.
True, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think it kind of makes sense because this is a fucking Koromon village.
Yeah.
True.
No, yeah, it makes sense. It's just like I was like he just kind of gets it, huh? I kind of forgot. I thought
Yeah.
he like showed his bravery or something and it led him to it, but no, he just kind of gets
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because fucking Agumon showed his bravery.
No,
Maybe
no.
like that could be the case. Yeah. Oh, whatever.
Because
Whatever.
Agumon like effectively just
He-
gets like beaten half to death.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as it turns out, the back half of the cave is on the other side of the mountain they entered. They're a good distance away from Edamon now,
And
which
then-
allows them to escape.
And then it comes back to Edward. He's like, those kids are probably all dead now. We got them. And then Kazimon's like, oh, boss, they're on the other side of the village.
And
Fuck!
he's just, damn it! And then the episode ends. Which means once again,
he also uses his, like, so his truck, even though it's like, it's a truck,
yes.
he uses his dark network
Mhm.
as, like, a railway.
Yes.
So it's even though it's a truck, it moves and operates like a train. It's an odd looking little contraption.
His little cable is also what allows him to realize that the children are on the other side of the mountain too, because like it peaks up for a second and notices them, and then it goes back down. But yeah, so that's it for 15, which means we're into the
Yeah.
Dub Zone,
Dub
episode
Zone.
15. The episode name has been changed to The Dark Network of Edamon, which is a way less fun name, but whatever.
Little bit.
So attack name changes. Gazimon's paralyzed breath has been changed to Electric Stun Blast.
That's fine.
Okay.
Dark Network is weird. So when he initially extends his Dark Network, he says Dark Network Concert Crush.
That's a pretty good name.
But then when he uses Love Serenade, he also just calls it Concert Crush.
Maybe that's just his catchphrase.
Maybe.
Like the old Dragon Ball dubs where Goku would just say Kamehameha
Yeah.
as a catchphrase.
Yeah, he was always doing this.
Wait, is it a real thing that would
It's a real
happen?
thing, yes. In the really old dubs.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Agumon does the recap. No, nothing really interesting here. The dub hates Mimi. She talks about like getting a pedicure or fucking something when she's running to town. The dub hates Mimi. At some point, they were close. There was like an entire conversation where they didn't change any of her lines, but at the very end, they have her say, "I think I broke a nail."
You wear gloves.
One of the characters says, "I think my feet are expanding." I think
That's worrisome. Their feet are fucking massive.
Right. So
These kids have Mickey Mouse proportions.
This is not a dub hates Mimi. However, when they are looking for her, she's not even on screen, and the writers are taking opportunities to punch down on her because when they find her hat, they're just like, "Oh, just saw the price tag. Yup, it's Mimi's."
Why does she leave the price tag on her head?
They
Because she's vapid and stupid and a girl.
And then her bag, it's like, "Oh, those accessories, that's definitely Mimi's." It's like, fuck. Can you motherfuckers for like 1 minute stop? The bathing scene is left untouched for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's just in.
I'm surprised that they kept that in.
Yeah.
That's like not typically in American shows.
Yeah, they cut Joe's butt naked ass, but they didn't cut that one.
Joe's leaping butt.
And now the most important thing. Dub ETEMON.
I was about to say he probably sounds amazing.
Dub ETEMON is Elvis.
Yeah, that's what
Just
I thought it was.
doing an Elvis impression. It is incredible. At first,
I remember he even just goes, "Thank you very much" a lot.
Yes. At the beginning, it just kind of sounds like he's doing a southern drawl, but then he starts laughing and he goes, "Oh,
Oh, yeah, it
and
just
it's
turns
like,
into Elvis, doesn't it?
it's so good. Dub ETEMON is phenomenal. Because like he goes, "Dark Network Concert Crush." It's his deliveries are so good. Love Dub ETEMON. Anyway, the dub hates Mimi. She mentioned something about getting a mud pack and a facial. I don't fucking know, man. And when they're talking about the Pokemon, at one point, they Taichi says, "Never trust anything without feet."
Horomon doesn't have feet.
You know, just don't do that. And that was the last major thing in the dub for this episode. Aside from its rampant Mimi abuse, pretty straightforward episode.
You know, next time I meet someone that like lost both their legs in the war, I'm gonna be like, "I'm just letting you know now." I'm gonna say this to their face. "I'm just letting you know now, because you don't have feet, I can't trust you. I have to believe in the gospel of Taichi from Digimon Adventure."
Terrible.
Jesus Christ. Yes, that will wrap up this session of the DigiVerse DiveCast. Congratulations, everyone. We made it in a relatively good amount of time, considering the amount I had to talk about at the beginning. Next session is going to be a little different. So we are only doing 4 episodes of the actual show. We are doing 16 through 19. But at the first thing we're going to be watching is actually the theatrical release short, which is a prologue to the entire series. The reason we're doing this is because the director of the movie also directed specifically episode 16, and we wanted to do it as yes, and we wanted to do it because like later parts of the show reference this short, despite the fact that it wasn't aired on TV. It was literally released in theaters the day before the show started airing. We wanted to make sure we talked it out and discussed it. So
if you've seen if you're watching along with us or whatever, if you've seen the Digimon movie, the first section where it's like Tai and Kari is like little babies.
Yes.
It's that. It's
Mhm.
that.
Yes. That was released in theaters. And so we're going to be watching that as the first thing, and then episodes 16 through 19, which is actually a good thing because then by doing 5 episodes per session moving forward, we will exactly hit the end point of episode 54 without having to make any kind of adjustments, which is great. So yeah, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for watching the DigiVerse DiveCast. I, yet again, don't have anything at all to promote, and I apologize for that. But hey, soon, maybe. See you in 2 weeks.